Greetings, everyone. Good morning to you. I hope all is well and I hope you had a marvelous weekend. But we're going to continue today talking about the things that we were talking about last week when it comes down to grants and the possibility of you being able to get one. So we want to talk about that this morning. And I'm going to have a few things that I would want you to do. If you are interested in the workshop that's coming up, I definitely want you to be able to make sure that you are you will get an opportunity to register when the time comes. So whenever I drop the course and whenever I drop what I'm going to drop about the grant writing course, I want you to be there. Okay. So now I'm going to put this up here. You guys will be able to see it that you're on the other platform. So y'all can't see this. And you see where it says join our mentoring community. That is where you can get your name on the list for free business tips weekly. You will be able to go there if you click the link in my bio and you do that, you will be able to get notification when I drop the course for the grant writing for you. If you are searching for money, you have an idea, there's no excuse. You need to be in the house. You need to be in the building. You need to be in the place when it comes down to we're going to talk about getting approved for grant funding now. All righty. So don't say you hadn't been told. All right. Don't say you hadn't been told. So that is what I am sharing. I shared with you on that particular information. So that information you see, you will be able to get it, get it. Okay. So now let's see. Now, what we are going to talk about is how to search for grants. How to search for grants. Last week, I gave you some information to prepare you to be approved for grant funding. And today, we're going to be very strategic about it. And I mentioned to you that I'll probably be doing some demonstration, which I will. So if you are on the any of these other platforms, you need to get, if you want to come, you need to come on the other portion of the you need to come where you can see the screen. You can come on, any of the other platforms I'm on and see what I have. And I know you probably used to being on your own platforms, but I can read it to you if you're not seeing everything on the screen that I'm gonna kind of talk about this morning. Now, first things first, you ought to make sure you got to have this information before you will be able to search in a strategic way for your business idea. So you kind of like to you kind of have to you're gonna have to have some filters here. You're gonna have to filter out, and then you'll be able to search a little bit thoroughly, right? And so some of the things that you need to kind of know, you need to know, not kind of, you need to know before you get the searching for a grant. And this, remember now, this will increase your chances of getting approved because you will narrow it down and you will be in your lane of opportunity, not just out here, just in a random pool of grant possibility. You writing a grant and then it's you're not generalized, you're specialized. Okay, let's put it that way. Now, first thing you need to be clear of is who you are. What kind of business do you have? A minority owned or women's owned or whatever kind of business? What are you? So that needs to be clear so you can narrow down your search. And this is just to help you narrow down your search. And we'll get more into it in a few minutes. So what does your business do? What is the mission? That's why I spoke to you last week and I said that you already need to have these things. You need to know these things. And then you also need to have narrowed down the impact of what are you going to impact, what like almost like your mission statement, and then what part of the community are you going to be able to impact, and then why are you qualified to do this? Is it job creation? Is it something pertaining to innovation? Is it something pertaining to underserved communities? That's what I'm speaking of. Okay. So you can target the right demographics or purpose for your grant searching. And this is what a lot of people or a lot of companies, industries make because they get overwhelmed with grant writing because they're just not narrowing it down to where it need to be. So that's one of the major things that keep them frustrated, keep you, you give up because you're saying that, you don't see any grants for you. I'm sure some of you listening to me have had this issue before. You're saying, "Oh, this is not for me." Well, it's not for you because you didn't do your you weren't strategic on your targeting. Just like you have to target and marketing, you have to target when you are searching for grants. Okay. Now let's talk about some local grants um, that you possibly will be, that might be beneficial for you. You need to look to your economic development offices and your chamber of commerce. They have grant opportunities for you. Your state department, economic development, your small business division, your state small business credit initiative program. I think I mentioned that to you guys last year, that they had a wealth of opportunities for businesses that was really still going through COVID. They hadn't used up the funds yet for that at that time. And I think they have the cutoff date is already done for that kind of grant. Oh, that's kind of past and long gone now. And so this is what I'm saying for is local. So sometimes right, in your back door, or shall I say in your city, you have opportunities, but you still have to search for them. There should be on most of your county's websites. There are opportunities there, but yes, you're gonna need the foundational information for them. There's no different than you were getting federal funding or for federal funding grants. That's no different. You still have to give them the information. You still have to have a business plan. You still have to have these foundational requirements, and you have to meet them, or you don't even qualify. You're not even going to be an option for approval. Okay, so you don't want to have yourself in that predicament. And then also, whatever city you're in, find out what the government really has in your city. It's information there, it's hidden information, in a sense that you may not know the keywords or the buzzwords, I would say, that is being used for grant opportunities, but the money is there. And so if the money is not used up, then they send it back, they allocate it somewhere else. And then they say, hey, well, they didn't come get this money, so we're going to have to redirect it or reposition it somewhere else in the government. And then that's money that you didn't even take advantage of, or you didn't use because you didn't know it existed. And that's kind of like how the game is played. Okay. But you don't want to be, missing out on an opportunity. So that's why I'm here to give you this info. All right. So yeah. So now next thing is searching for your grants is, if you have any questions, like I said, I will be glad to answer them after we finish. Okay. All right. After I finish giving you all this information. Now, that's some of the local information about local grants from your cities and states. And so don't think that it's only federal funding. It is outside of federal funding. It is more. And I'm looking around because I'm trying to see, is anybody have anything to say on the different platforms, along with on the live streaming for multiple platforms. So I'm doing all of this, getting all of this done here at one time. Now, let's locate and let's learn how to search for federal grants. Okay, federal grants has a multitude of avenues. Federal grants have a multitude of avenues. I'm going to say it one more time. Federal grants have a multitude of avenues for you to get funding. Funding that you don't have to pay back. If your credit is not 100%, your credit is not where you want it to be, that is no excuse for you not being able to get any grant funding. You just have to qualify, and you just pretty much have to knock the socks off the grantor. You have to position your proposal. You have to be well prepared. And this is what I'm here telling you to do. And if you are interested, side note, for the next course that I'm getting ready to drop, like I said, I want you to be able to go and be a part of it, but you have to sign up through this area here that I'm getting ready to show you. You have to join the mentoring. You have to go there, join the mentoring. So that's where it's going to be. You have to join the mentoring. You have to go there and just get your name on the list. And then when I send you the link for the course, you have it already. And it's going to be, I'm going to give the first probably 10 people, I give you a benefit of getting the grant. I'm sorry, getting the course at an astronomical discounted price. So you need to be aware, be there or be square. All right. Now let me finish talking about what I was talking about here. Let's go back into the local federal, the federal grants. Okay. The federal grants has a few search areas that I want you to be pay close attention to. And if you are not going to be in the course, this is why I want to share this with you too. You can do it on your own, however, but I do want you to know that there are a few websites that I want to tell you about. Okay. I want to let you know about these websites. I want you to know about them. Okay. There's a few. And a few of them, you have to pay for them, of course. And if you don't know what you're doing, then you're going to miss out on a whole lot of opportunity too. So that's why you got me here to help you get there. Grants.gov is a major one. The grants.gov has a lot of information where you can search funders and foundations. Look, all of them are there. Let me say that again. All of them are there. Let me say that one more time. All of the funders are there. You just have to search for them. And like I said earlier, getting yourself prepared for that search is going to be very important, because the database is full of funders. And you want to narrow it down so you can be in that query. You can narrow it down to what you need. And that's why you need to be specific about your grant journey, your grant research. You have to be so ready for these opportunities that you can be afforded. Alrighty. So that's what I want to say about that one. And now, SAM.gov. There's federal contracts there and there's grants on SAM.gov. But if you don't know what you're doing, you will not find them. So you got to know what you're doing. And that's why you need to be in the class that's coming up, so where you can understand that you can get and know that the grants are there for you. It is work, but it is well worth it. Wouldn't you rather do the work for something that you can get money that you wouldn't have to pay back, regardless if your credit score is not up to par like you want it to be? In the SBA or anyone that has a loan for a business won't give you a loan simply because of that barrier that you feel like you have. Wouldn't you want to bypass that? So that's what you need to do. Okay. Learn, if not nothing else. Okay. The SBA.gov. They have funding and programs and grants and things like that. But all of these that I'm mentioning to you, you definitely you have to have that business plan. And that's what I specialize in. And you will have to have that plan together. So we have to work together and get that done. Now, the next one, local website that you would have to, I mean, would be good for you to include in your search would be the USDA rural business grants. So a lot of times with that, in rural areas in your town, sometimes go to some of your county meetings and see what's going on. They're free to the public. You don't have to pay to go to any of those meetings. See what's going on with your city. See what's going on within the city where you live. What are they really talking about? What's going on? They may be looking at you strange because you're there, because they feel like, oh, okay, what they're here for. And they may be threatened because you're there, simply because a lot of them just, they think that you don't know. They don't think, they don't, when they see, let me tell you something. One thing I've learned about people in general, if they feel like you know a little something, they are very intimidated by that. So don't let the people, even in politics, intimidate you. If you're living in their city, in their town, and you pay taxes, you 9 times out of 10, you probably have voted them in office. So, you know, take advantage of some of your rights that you have, and and be a part of the meetings to see what's really going on and see what they are talking about. I know plenty of people I talk to, a lot of times they've gone and they've done this and gone and seen what's going on in the city and the county. And yes, people want to know, well, what do you do? What are you there? Because they want to be nosy to see why you're there. But sometimes just keep your mouth closed and just say, hey, I just want to come sit in the meeting. Don't let them know. Move in silence. Don't let them know why you're there. Don't let them know all of your business. Don't allow them to know about what you're doing there. Just keep them out of, you don't have to tell them that. So just learn and be observant and find out, how you can get some funding. Yeah, there are a lot of local grants that you just don't, hey there, hey, they don't tell you about, but you can sit in some of those meetings, okay? If you are a citizen in that particular county, and there are projects that that they have coming up that they don't even say anything about. There's open records that you can look and see what's going on in new development. One thing I can say about a lot of county administrators and things like that, they are planning for 5, 10, 20 years out. So be in the room. You can even, go and look and see who be at the meetings first. Do your research so you can know a little bit about the people that be in those meetings and in those rooms. So as you're there and as you're listening at them speak, you can know a little bit about them, and then you can pretty much tell what are their goals or what they stand for and who they are. So you already have done your background on them, and your research on who they are before you go to those meetings, and when they speak about what they want to see going on in the counties or wherever wherever you are, then make sure that you've researched them to know what are their beliefs and what they believe in and what they stand for. Because a lot of times people do a lot of talking and they're not really for what you stand for. They're really not for the people, for the cities and the county that they serve. So know a little bit about that. That's a strategic strategy for you. Okay, now one other search, federal government entity that will help you when you are out here looking for grants will be the Economic Development Administration, the EDA.gov. That's government. These are government entities, and the government rules the money. They own the money. So you need to know a little bit about what's going on in any arena when it comes down to the government. Okay. I don't care what grant you're associated with, they have to do their checks and balances with the government in order for you to be able to be awarded these opportunities for us. Even the private fundings, they have guidelines to go by. Don't let anybody fool you. They have to, the government have to give them the okay in order to be able to give that grant money away, because remember, a lot of times they have to meet certain requirements. They have to meet checks and balances, and they have to, they have to meet certain requirements in order to be able to give them money to you as a grantor. Okay, because a lot of times on your tax return, believe it or not, you have to report this information. So this is all intertwined together. So don't think that just because it's private funding and it's not, coming strictly from a government entity or a nonprofit kind of sense, in a sense, organization, that is not, that it's something separate. It is not a part of the government. Yes, it is. And so when you go to the eda.gov website, you will then discover that there are resources and tools, and you can find funding information there. So when we get ready to go over the workshop, I will get a little bit deeper, dive deeper into it with you. But like I said, just go click the link in the bio and be a part of the, get the mentoring, get the information, go be a part of what when you go to the home page, for the most part, and you'll see, like, once you click on the link, you go down and you'll see the stay connected for free weekly tips, and then I'll give you that information, because I'm going to send it when I get ready to drop the course. I'm going to send it to everybody, and then the first possibly 10, the first 10, you'll be able to get it at a astronomical discount, and then it will be the regular price. Okay, so that workshop is going to, it's going to be, first we're going to do a workshop, and then if you need help more, then we'll be doing a 6 weeks course. So just to let you know that's how I'm going to do that. But I want to make sure that you are interested before we even set a date for the course, because I'm giving you this information now. I don't want to get something prepared and then you don't, this is nothing that you're interested in. So I just want to make sure that I got enough people that it's going to be interest before I get, because it's a wealth of information. It's very time consuming getting this packaged and prepared for you. So alrighty, so I have the information, I have the knowledge. I just want to make sure that it's something that you want. How about that? Alrighty, so now, so with that being said, I did want to share that with you too. And all right. Now, some of the other ways that you can search for grants. We're talking about searching for grant funding. We're talking about the funding part, okay? And so private and corporate grants. Now, you can search for you can search through corporation, and yes, there are also private grants too as well. Outside of that, and then also the private grants have, they have guidelines to go through to the Security and Exchange Commission. It's kind of like over that there, in a sense, they kind of like have a, almost, well, I wouldn't say this, well, SEC possibly in certain instances, because it all depends on if the private foundation has, they have security and exchanges in a different arena, and then they want to have a part of their corporation set up for grants and things like that. I'm sure that they have to, give an account of that or report that, yes. But this can also be a part of the agency for the federal, the FDA, the federal, not the FDA, not the Food Drug Administration, the federal financial side of, the government, the government entity or the government control. So that's a part of it there. So now some of the private foundations that I'm speaking of is Hello Alice, and there are a lot of private companies like, FedEx and Xfinity, Comcast, and things like that. There's organizations, there's Grant Watch, there's a lot of like I said, a lot of private companies, they have initiatives and they have grant opportunities too as well. That's a part of your search too as well. Okay. All right. And the foundations can be found, if some of you are in here late, I did say earlier where you can find those. You just go back and listen to it again. I did tell you where you can find the other, you can find the information for the foundations, and it's a plethora of them. Like all of them are housed there, that database that I shared with you earlier. Okay, so it doesn't matter what type of business that you are into or what you're in. There are plenty searchable and fundable ways that you can find funding for your business. That's just the bottom line. You can find plenty of grants. It's just that whether you qualify for them, that's a total another conversation and story. If you meet their mission and what they're about, and if you can show them that you will definitely, your outcome is going to be what they're aimed to do, then you guys possibly could be a good fit. That's the way that goes. All right. Now, and then next thing is partnering with and supporting organizations. There's some organizations that you definitely will want to partner with along the way. I won't give them out because I want those will be something that I will save for the course and the class. But then also, I definitely want you to know that these are some things that you need to keep in mind. I'm gonna give you a few of them. You keep in mind um, you keep in mind when you are searching and looking for grant funding, you keep in mind the eligibility that they said that you have to meet. And the deadline is so important because you want to mess up and not get a grant. Do this, miss that deadline. I don't care whether you big, big, you will not get in that door because that deadline would have already have been closed. And whatever documents they require of you is another thing. Make sure that you accompany, and you follow, and you do exactly what they tell you to do. And it would be a good thing once you are looking at a grant opportunity to take some detailed notes, some copious notes. Take those notes and don't waver from them. Don't come and lean to your own understanding. It will not work out for you. Okay. And have some contact information of the person that you feel like you need to have a conversation with. Have their contact information, have their secondhand, right hand person information. Just have that information, whether it's phone number, email, fax, whatever. That's going to help you. All of these things that I'm mentioning is going to help you get that approval, and it will allow you to look like the professional person that you are really you're striving to be in this area. Okay. So that's going to be all this morning. That's going to be all that we're going to speak on for today. And I will see you tomorrow. Is there any questions so far? I do see some of you are on here. Have any questions? I will be glad to answer them on some of the information that we just spoke of, or if it's something that jot your memory and you thought about it and you say, hey, I want to access. So I give you chance to type and ask me a few questions, and I'm gonna check here and see what you guys are saying. So somebody like that, hey, hey, girl, hey, dear. Actually, she might be working. All right, so now, so what is if the I'm giving you a few minutes because if they're in, oh, okay, thanks for sharing so much information. Well, you're so welcome. I appreciate you for being here. Thanks for being here. Yeah, so I hope that it helped and gave you a little clarity. That's what it's all about. Giving you that info to help you get to the next level in life and whatever you're working on. All right, guys, I've been working out a little intense and I'm sore. I've been working out a little intense, and I woke up this morning. I'm like, because it don't bother you the next day. It bothers you like 2 days later. Oh Lordy, it bothers you like 2 days. I got to rewatch. Okay, that's not a problem. Yeah. Yeah. And so that is, we talked about today researching the grants, researching the funding. That's another very important area, is researching and getting and narrowing it down, because, with all of the resources out here, I'm gonna tell you, you have to be clear on exactly what you want the grant to be, what kind of grant you're looking for, because it's so much out here. It may not seem like it's so many opportunities in grant, but it is. You need to narrow it down to what is your area that you're looking for to get a grant funding in. And that's how a lot of people can get approved, and that's why it's so important to just have that, have all those other things that I talked about last week: your foundation of your business, your mission, statement, and your mission, and who you're going to serve, and even grants could help you with payroll. There's funding out there for that, but narrow it down, and what are the credentials of the people that is on your team, and then they can see, well, okay, well, these people are qualified, so if I give them this grant money, then they will, achieve their desired outcome. And that's another thing a lot of people don't do, is they're not clear on their outcome of what they want to achieve and accomplish when you're writing a grant. So make sure you're clear on that. All right. So anyway, boy, yeah. So I don't think there's any more questions. So thanks so much. Elegance Design by Jackie. Hey, Jackie. Yes, it says Elegance Designs by Jackie. All right, that sounds good. Elegance. Do you love elegance? I love elegance, y'all. Yeah. All righty. So that looks like nobody has any questions. So I see you in the morning, possibly a little early in the morning. Had some other things and had some people to speak with this morning. So now I'm get. Oh, okay. You're welcome. You're ready to return to riches. Okay. Well, thank you. I'm glad that I was able to help, and I'm glad you took some notes down. So like I said, just make sure you guys stay connected, follow, get on the, get in the mentor. And I won't be harassing you, but I just like sometimes the people that are, the people that are I call y'all my community, that follow me and things like that. I'll drop you a video or something that I really don't share with the public, and giving it, tutorial or things like that. And so I might just do a tutorial on my back in-house on the ones that might give you some thorough information on what some of this stuff that I mentioned earlier. And so that's what I like to do. So anyway, because sometimes I don't do a tutorial on here, but I wanted to just kind of deep dive and share with others. All right. So anyway, everybody have a oh, you're welcome. Thanks so much. So everybody, you have a wonderful morning, and I'm going to get back and do some things, and I'm going to take me a Tylenol. I need to take, I'm telling you, I'm sore. You're welcome. You are welcome. Thank you so much. You guys are welcome. Welcome. I'm so glad you guys stopped by to this morning, and I appreciate you for being here. Appreciate y'all. Alrighty. Have a beautiful morning again, and talk to y'all later. Okay. All right. And remember what? You were created for greatness. You were. Nobody can beat being you. You were created for greatness. Nobody can beat you being you. So just be you and let everybody else alone. Not that. How about that? All right. All right. Y'all have a beautiful morning. Bye. Take care. Take care.